stitches. Hey sewing friends, I wanted to share one of the notions that I have fallen in love with and I have been using for a very long time, and that is this spool of thread right here. You can get this at WAWAK. It's an online sewing company, and this is WAWAK is WAWAK.com, and shipping is really fast. Well, they're in New York, so I usually get stuff the next day, but I'm not sure how fast things would go if you're not in New York. So this is basting thread. So this right here is all-purpose thread, and if I try to take this and break it, yeah, so it does do some breaking. You can break it, but whenever it pulls, some of the thread starts to get all jagged. So this is thread that can be pulled, but this is this is Coats and Clark dual duty XP. So this is all-purpose thread. But I would baste with this, but I wouldn't try to pull this apart with my hands, because it's possible that, you know, you get the wrong day and this thread could like really cut into your skin. Other thread that I love to use is Gutermann. I'm thinking that's the way to pronounce it, but this is probably my favorite thread. So whenever I am working on something and I want some really nice thread, this is my go-to. And you can get it in Joann's, or you can also get, I think you can get this at WAWAK too as well. Drop the thread over here. This thread is, I would put it on the high end. Now if I try to take this and rip it, so it's ripping, but look what it did. Look what it did to my thread. It's mangled. If you can see that. Pulling these two threads took some energy. It took some force. And the thing is, if you sew through your garment and you try to rip this out, your fabric will probably rip before this thread gives out. So I've basted my tiny hem. Now I am going to top stitch, because I don't want the thread to be too tight. So as I'm sewing, everything is getting flat on this end and everything is bunching up on this end. One thing I like about the basting thread is that things can get bunched up here, but all I have to do is straighten it out, and it keeps my hem, or it keeps my fabric where I want it to be, but it also allows the fabric to move across the thread. This doesn't always happen with regular thread, but because the basting thread is just so, it's on the thick side, there's not a lot of body to it, it's just a very stiff type of thread that I can just slide the fabric across the thread. And I always keep a long tail here, because I know that as I start sewing, or as I continue sewing, I know that the fabric is going to eventually move down this thread. So the tiny hem is now sewn. This is actually going to be a flounce. Isn't it beautiful? So now I have my seam ripper, and if I go to the beginning or anywhere on here, So I'm just going to snap right here, and then I can just grab the basting thread, and it comes out. Oh, just left in there. And there is the flounce. So I can't wait for you to see the finished shirt. Thanks for watching. Loves.